Hi guys, welcome to Electronics Jamb video tutorial. My name is Abbas Suraka Ibrahim. In today's videos, inshallah, we are going to start Biology 2020. Let's proceed to the question number 1. Natality is a factor affecting population density because it involves A. Increase in population due to immigration, B. Increase in population due to immigration, and C. The number of all young ones produced in the population, and D. The number of matured females in the population. So the correct answer here should be C, because C, natality is the ratio of live birth in an area to the population. That area expressed per 1,000 population per year. So the correct answer here is C. So let's question number 2. Water rises most rapidly in A. Clay soil, B. Sandy loamy soil, and C. Sandy soil, and D. Loamy soil. So here the correct answer should be sandy soil, because water rises rapidly in sandy soil due to the large space in the soil and poor water holding capacity. So let's proceed to question number 3. Question number 3 said the organ located in mammalian abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm and laying on top of the stomach is A. Intestine, B. Bladder, C. Pancreas, and D. Liver. The correct answer here is liver, because the liver is below the diaphragm and it is left lobe partially cover the stomach. Question number 3. Which of the following represents the phenotypic ratio when a plant, capital R, small r, is crossed with another plant, capital R, small r, assuming that the gene for R, round seed, is dominant and wrinkled R is recessive? Option number 1, the 2:2:1, B 1:1:2:1, and C 3:1, and D 3:2. So in these questions we need to draw the diagram to show so we need to put, we have R, and we have R, capital R, and we have small r. If we cross capital R, so when we cross this capital R and capital R, small and small r, then we are going to get R dominant, and R for recessive, then R for recessive, then R and R. So what are we going to look here is that since they were asked us to find the phenotypic ratio, so since we are all told to give phenotypic ratio, this capital R is for dominant, right? And wrinkle for small r for recessive. Therefore, RR for the first, and RR for the second, and RR for the third, and R small r will look the same, well small r will look different. So the ratio is here 3:1. So question number 5. The large intracellular specks which penetrate the tissue of most hydrophytes provide pathway through which A. Carbon dioxide absorbed by the leaves and diffuse to the root. B. Oxygen produced in the leaves can produce to the smart part. C. Plant hormones are transported to various parts, and D. Salt absorbed by the root and reach other plants. So the correct answer is B, because the large intracellular air space helps oxygen from photosynthesis get to the submerged root in the water to supplement oxygen supply. So question number 6. The question number 6 said, the theory that new organs or characteristics develop in organisms when there is a need for them was postulated by A. John Lamarck, and B. Gregor Mendel, C. Charles Darwin, and D. Wallace. So the correct answer here is John Lamarck, because John Lamarck used theory of use and disease, which state the uses of disease theory explain that the fact of an organism that the organs used most will undergo hypertrophy and will become more developed is the growth of specific organs or tissue. So the correct answer here is John Lamarck, A. So let's proceed. Question number 7 is diagram. In the diagram of organs for attachment of lining of the host intestine are loved. So number 1, A, I1 and I3, B, I2 and I3, C, I1 and I2, and D, I3 and I4. So let's back to our diagram. So this is I1, here is I1, here is I2, here is I3, and here is I4. So what are we going to look here to find our answer is, the correct answer is I2 and I3, because I2 is the hook while I3 is the sucker. Tapeworms attach themselves to the inner lining of the definitive host. Small intestine, they don't have mouth to hold in with, but they have an arrangement of suckers and hooks. So this arrangement of suckers and hooks is I2 and I3. So that is why the correct answer here is I2 and I3, because they have suckers and hooks. So question number 8, Spirogyra is regarded as multicellular plant because A, it is a cells are joined to form organs, B, it is a cells are linked together by cytoplasmic strand, and C, the cylindrical cells are linked end to end, and D, the filament consists of one cells only. So the correct answer here is B. It is a cells are linked together by cytoplasmic strands, because a Spirogyra is multicellular organisms. The cells in Spirogyra are linked together in chain to form multicellular strand of green algae. So question number 9 said, which of the following parts of the tongue does not correspond to the test indicated against it? A, side saw, B, back saw, and C, tip sweet, D, central salt. The correct answer here is back saw, because the back of the tongue responds to the beta test, while the side of the tongue responds to the sour test. So if you look this reason, I think the answer should be B, back saw. So let's proceed to the next question. Question number 10. Which of the following statement is best explain the term extubations? A, a device for survival during a period of extreme food and water shortage. B, a method of survival adopted by animals under favorable condition. C, movement of animals over a longer distance, while D, A method of survival adopted by plant during dry season. The correct answer here is A. When animals take rest in a shady and moist place during a summer, it is called extubation or extubation. The importance of this sleep is mainly related to the conservation of energy of one's body, survival during the extreme temperature of food and water, etc. So this indicates A is the correct answer. Question number 11. The brain and spinal cord make of the A. peripheral nervous system and B. autonomic nervous system, C. central nervous system, and D. somatic nervous system. The correct answer here is central nervous system, because central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord, while peripheral nervous system consists of spinal cord and cranial nerves. So the correct answer here is central nervous system. Question number 12. The inability of some individuals to perceive the taste of some substances is an example of A. physiological variation, B. morphological variation, D. individual adaptation, and D. morphological adaptation. So in biology we don't have individual adaptation and morphological adaptation, so the answer is in between A and B. So the correct answer is A. physiological variation, because physiological variation is a difference in organisms in terms of function of the organism systems or organ, while morphological variation refers to the difference in structure. So and physiological variation and morphological variation is the physical appearance, while physiological variation is no physical appearance. Since the taste is not physical appearance, you can only saw and taste it. This is physiological variation. A is the correct answer. So question number 13. When gamete from pure breeding parent with a contrasting features such as tallness and shortness are involved in monohybrid cross, the offspring in the first familiar generation are usually A. homozygous recessive, B. heterozygous dominant, and D. mutant, D. purebred. So the correct answer is heterozygous dominant, since the cross involved the purebred like capital R and small r. So the first generation would have an heterozygous, since they are indifferent. So if they are the same, that is homozygous. The correct answer is heterozygous dominant, B. Question number 14. The evidence for evolution can be obtained from the following except A. fossil, B. embryology, C. anatomy, and D. history. So the correct answer here is history. Evolution is the change in genetics, also physiological composition of population over a long period of time. So there is fossil and embryology and anatomy, excluded history. The correct answer here is D. Question number 15. Which of the following methods of reproduction is common to paramecium and amoeba? A. sexual reproduction, B. conjunctions, and C. binary fission, D. budding. The correct answer here is binary fission. Sorry, number B, I mean conjugation, and C. binary fission, and D. budding. The correct answer here is C. binary fission, because binary fission in biology is the division of single entity into two or more parts, and regeneration of this part separate entities resemble the original. So the correct answer here is binary fission. Let's proceed. Question number 16. Question number 6 is diagram. The blood is pumped into the right ventricles by the contraction of the auricle wall through A 6, B is 1, and C is 3. Then D is 5. The correct answer here is 3, because number 3, the tricuspid bulb or right ventricular bell is one of the right side of the mammalian heart at the upper part of the right ventricle. The function of the valve is prevent backflow of the blood from the right ventricle into the right atrium during the right ventricular contraction. So the correct option here is number 3. Number 3 is here. This is number 3 is the correct answer. So let's go to question number 17. Below is a list of the level of organization in organisms. Roman 1, tissue. Roman 2, system. Roman 3, cell. Roman 4, organ. The correct sequence of the level in an increasing order complexity is A. Roman 3, Roman 4, Roman 1, and Roman 2. B. Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3, and Roman 4. And C. Roman 4, Roman 3, Roman 1, and Roman 2. D. Roman 3, Roman 1, Roman 4, and Roman 1. So the organization of organisms is start from cell, that is Roman 3, followed by tissue, that is Roman 1, followed by organ, Roman 4, and followed by the system. So let's back to our option. Roman 3 come first, followed by cell, tissue, Roman 1. So the correct answer here is D. Cell, tissue, organs, and system. Let's move to the next question. Question number 18. The cap-shaped part of the Bunsen capsule contains A. Loop of Henry, B. Nephron, C. Nephridium, and D. Glomerulus. The correct answer here is D. Glomerulus. It's a small group of intertwined capillaries in the nephron that filters blood. It is cup shape. It is a cup shape. That is the correct answer here is D. So let's move to the next question. Question number 19. The conservation of natural resources can be achieved by the following except A. Establishment of game reserve, B. Formation of conservation of society and agencies, C. Creation of national parks, D. Deregulated harvesting. So the correct answer here is D. Deregulated harvesting causes reduction in wildlife. Since there is no law of regulating, it is killing or harvesting. So let's move to the next question. Question number 20. Which of the following will be the primary producer in food chain? A. Carnivorous, B. Saprophytes, and C. Green plant, D. Herbivorous. So the correct answer here is green plant. Green plant are primary producer in most terrestrial food chain, since they are only one that can manufacture their own food. So the correct is green plant. Let's move to the next question. Question number 21. The organelle which eliminate water from the body of protozoa is A. Cell wall, B. Contracted buccal, C. Protoplasma, and D. Plasma membrane. So the correct answer here is B. Contracted buccal. Contracted buccal remove water through the osmoregulation and also remove waste. Let's move to the next question. Question number 22. Group instinct of social behavior is not displayed in A. chicken, B, bees, C, soldier ant, and D, Weber bird. The correct answer here is D, Weber, because animal social behavior is the suite of the interaction that occur between the two or more individual animals, usually of the same species, when they form simple aggregation, cooperate in sexual or parental behavior, engage in the dispute over territory, and access to mate or simply communicate across the space. So the correct answer here is D. The number of individuals inhabited in relation to the unit space available to each organism is referred to as D. A, density, B, birth rate, C, frequency, D, mortality. The correct answer here is density, because population density is the number of people living in each unit area. Let's move to the next question, number 24. The diagram above illustrates a part of the mammalian skeleton. Use it to answer these questions. The function of the fat level 1, this is level 1, is the function of fat level 1 is A, provide support to the spinal cord, and B, provide supports for attachment of the muscles, C, carry the spinal cord, and D, articulate with adjustment. The correct answer here is carrying the spinal cord. The fat level 1 is the cervical vertebra. The bony cervical vertebra serves as to protect conduit for the spinal cord and as an exit point of the nerve root. Let's move to the next question, question number 25. Question number 25. Thrombocytes are blood cells responsible for initiating A, phagocytosis bacteria, clotting of blood, synthesis of ribosomes, and D, immunity of certain infection disease. The correct answer here is clotting of the blood, because thrombocyte is the same as platelets. It's helping in blood clotting. Let's move to the next question, number 26. All hereditary characteristics in a cell are passed on from parent cell to all hereditary characters in a cell are passed on from parent cell to daughter cell through the process of A, implantation, B, mitosis, C, meiosis, and D, fertilization. So the correct answer is meiosis. Meiosis is a process of cell division that occurs in reproductive cells, diploid cells divided into 4 haploid cells. So meiosis is the correct answer. Let's move to the next question, number 27. Adaptive radiation, as illustrated by the variety of forms in an insect, can be regarded as A, an evidence of evolution, B, behavioral modification, C, a case of rapid population growth, and D, a physiological process. So the correct answer here is an evidence of evolution, because adaptive radiation is an evolutionary process by which single species involved in a several new species within the relative short time in a specific geographic domain. So an evidence of evolution is the correct answer. Let's proceed to the next question, number 28. Which of the following constitutes the main internal tissue of leaf? A, mesophy, B, corticule, and C, vascular tissue, D, lower epidermis. So the correct answer here is mesophy. The mesophy is located between the upper and lower layers of the leaf. Epidermis, and is mostly made of parenchyma ground tissue or collerenchyma tissue. Let's move to the question 29. Which of the following part of the mammalian brain is involved in taking the decisions to run rather than walk? A. Cerebellum. B. Medulla oblongata. And C. Midbrain. D. Cerebellum. The correct option here is cerebellum is the set of judgment. It controls the thinking and decision making aspect of a mammal. Question number 30. The condition known as cretinism is caused by the deficiency of A. Insulin, B. Vitamin A, C. Tyrosine, and D. Adrenaline. The correct option here is tyrosine, because cretinism is a condition of severe stunt physical and mental growth due to the untreated congenital deficiency of thyroid hormones. Question number 31. What is the difference between viviparous and oviparous animals? A. Possession of yolk eggs. B. Laying of unfertilized eggs. And C. Laying and brooding of eggs. D. Protection of eggs from predator. So the correct option here is laying and brooding of eggs, because viviparous animals give birth to their young ones alive. Example, mammals. Viviparous animals lay eggs and brood them, regulate temperature so as to hatch eggs. Example, birds. Question number 32. Which of the following process will not introduce carbon dioxide into the atmosphere? A. Breathing. B. Photosynthesis. C. Respiration. And D. Putrefaction. The correct answer here is photosynthesis, since photosynthesis is the process where green plants manufacture their own food using carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll in the process of release oxygen as byproduct. So the correct option here is photosynthesis. B is the correct answer. Question number 32. Which of the following reagent is used for the test for starch? A. Millions reagent. B. Sudentary. C. Pelling solution. And D. Iodine solution. The correct option here is iodine solution, since iodine solution is used for starch test when it is added to give a blue-black color. So blue-black color is indicate the presence of starch. The correct option here is D. Question 34. Roman 1, cat. Roman 2, frog. Roman 3, bird. Roman 3, fish. Oviparity is the type of fertilization exchange in A. Roman 2, B. Roman 4, C. Roman 1, and D. Roman 3. The correct answer here is Roman 2, that is A. Oviparous animals are animals that lay eggs while with little or no other embryonic development within the mother. This is the reproductive method of most fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and monotremes. So the correct option here is A. Question number 35. The wing of a bird and that of a bird, the flippers of a whale, and the fins of a fish are example of A. Convergent evolution. B. Adaptive radiation. C. Vestigial structure. And D. Continuous variation. The correct answer here is A. convergent evolution, since convergent evolution is the independent evolution of a similar features in a species of a different period of epochs in time. Question number 36. The organ which sensitive to light in Egelina is A. Chloroplast, B. Contracted buccal, C. Gullet, and D. Eye spot. The correct option here is eye spot. Eye spot is used for detection of light in Egelina. This feature also classified as Egelina as an animal due to the presence of eye spot. Question number 37. Muscles are attached to bones by means of A. Tendons, B. Synovial membrane, C. Ligament, and D. Cartilage. The correct answer here is tendons. Tendons is the one that attach muscles to bone. Ligament attach bone to bone. So tendons is the one that attach bones to muscles. The correct answer here is tendon. Is A. Question 38. Which of the following factor is not associated with aquatic habitat? A. Wave action, B. Humidity, and C. Light intensity, and D. Turbidity. So the correct option here is B. Humidity, since humidity is the amount of water vapor in air. Question number 39. The term afforestation is used in the describing A. Felling of trees in the forest, and B. Following of frostland, and C. Planting trees of value to man, and D. Harvesting natural forest resources. So the correct option here is planting trees of value to man, because afforestation refers to the process of planting trees where they have not been planted before. So the correct here is planting trees of value to man. Question number 40. Question number 40. Which of the following organelles is used for locomotion in paramecium? A. Follicles, and B. Pseudopodium, C. Cilium, D. Trichocytes. The correct option here is cilium. Pseudopodium is used by amoeba for movement. Trichocyte is any numerous minute rod-like structure, each containing prostoplasm. So the correct option here is cilium. Pseudopodium is locomoted by cilium. The correct option is C.
Here we come to the end of today's tutorial video. Before we go, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that once we post a new video you will be able to see it in your YouTube. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you later.